graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
I'm talking about the real daddy that handles the fucking business. Nobody ever says, hey, daddy, thanks for knocking out this rent. Hey, daddy, I sure love this hot water. Hey, daddy, this is easy to read with all this light.
It's just a coincidence that you were talking about the Jack and Triumph show, and I'm here. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, guy who makes all those unlistenable podcasts over at smodcast.com, and you're listening to the Two Strangers, One Podcast. This is podcasting.
You're listening to Two Strangers, One Podcast. Subscribe to us on iTunes or on the Stitcher app for Android devices. Please visit twostrangersonepodcast.net. Now, here's Chris Colon and Paul Pasquillo.
Well, hello and welcome to Two Strangers, One Podcast. I'm Chris. I'm Paul. And sorry, people, for the usual delay. Like we always do, we never record on the nights that we're supposed to record because Paul's like, oh, I can't record because you're coming over too late. And Paul's like, well, I'm going to tell the story then on why you were late anyway. And I don't mind telling the story because what the hell's going on upstairs?
Somebody's getting beat upstairs.
Someone's getting beat upstairs. It has nothing to do with, at least we're on record here in front of the live camera to say that we weren't involved with whatever the fuck just happened upstairs.
Kelsey is probably beating her sister. That's usually what happens.
So Paul has a visitor in his house, his sister-in-law, I guess.
Future sister-in-law,
but it is what it is. No, well, last week, my birthday came and I got a couple of dollars and I'm trying to fucking get myself into a mentally better, healthy state. And maybe Paul doesn't fucking appreciate this because Paul has someone that lives with him and takes care of him, but I need my house clean. I live like a bachelor. I need someone to help me clean my house.
Here, let me translate for him. He's a pig.
I'm a fucking pig. Yes, exactly. I'm a pig. I'm a disgusting fucking pig.
He's a pig.
Well, that being said, and once again, people, long-term listeners of the show, Chris commented, oh, finally, okay, so again, we are getting notifications. What did Chris say? And big shout out to Chris Mounts, dollar bill, y'all, sexy new maid, oink oink. No. Actually, look, if I could afford a sexy nude maid, I would. No, okay. And
no, it wasn't a sexy maid. Tell the people who it was.
No, this isn't this. For long-term listeners of the show, it was my daughter's mother. She had come over to the house. Well, she had recently she was in a car accident and her car got smashed. That's a whole other story. That's nothing to do with the podcast. But so she needed to get her car out of the lot and all this other shit and paying whatever fine she needed to pay. And I needed my fucking house cleaned. And, right now, our relationship is halfway decent. So I said, look, let's fucking kill two birds with one stone. I need help getting my fucking house in order because no one's there to clean up after me. I'm there by myself. I live like a fucking bachelor. And so I need someone there to, until I actually get like a real fucking girlfriend, I need someone to help me up. And I need someone to give the quote unquote women's touch. Because guys don't clean. Guys, we organize and we fix shit up, but it nowhere is the level of clean that it is when it's a woman. So no, it wasn't some sexy maid. It was my baby mama. And I understand that's going to sound crazy. And I know people who listen to the podcast are probably going to come out and say, that's probably a bad idea. And, look.
Let me just answer it for him. Yes, it is a bad idea.
Yes, it's a bad idea, but it's not like it's something that's going to happen all the time. And then what had happened is she was cleaning, and we were planning to get everything done by the time that we were going to come. I was going to come over here and record. Then she said, look, and I gave her, I paid her, and she said, could you do me a favor and give me a ride to Walmart? Obviously, her car's smashed, so she doesn't have a car right now. So she said, can you give me a ride to Walmart so she can buy some food for the kids? She takes care of my child, for Christ's sake. And so we go to Walmart. The trip went a little longer than usual. And then Paul's over here, I can't record late because I got to get up in the morning. And so with that, I could tease him.
Let me talk about this. So Chris gets here usually about 7, 8 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And it takes Chris like 5 hours to figure out what he wants to do for the podcast. So by the time we do record for the podcast, it's 10 o'clock. So
today.
him coming over at like 9, 10 o'clock means we're not going to record till like 11 if I'm lucky, maybe 12. I have to be to work at 6 a.m. My ass is not going to put up with that shit. so here's this. See this?
Yeah, it's
right here.
Right here. And it's okay for Paul to give me the big fuck you.
And by the way,
in
wait a
an
minute,
hour,
wait a minute.
in an hour
Wait
and a
minute.
half.
And by the way, I can also give you a fuck you because you did that. You did that with your ex over me. That's bullshit.
That's the whole thing is, I had planned to be here on time. She had said at the last minute, look, and
Actually, here's another funny thing about this. Chris usually texts me the day. We had texted like I think Sunday. He's like, so are we recording Monday? I was like, yes. I was like, unless the typhoon comes through again, like we're recording. So all of Monday, I don't hear anything. I'm like, did somebody rape Chris or something? Like, what the fuck happened? So I finally texted him, and he's like, oh, yeah, I'm with my baby's mom. And I'm like, oh, here we go.
But it wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. It's not like I'm with my baby mama. No.
But I'm just saying, you blew me off for your baby's mother.
I blew you up because she has fucking 3 kids at home. She technically has 4 kids. She has 3 kids at home. Her schedule is fucking hectic. And it's one of those deals where right now she's not working. I asked her to help me out. I'm paying her for her time. She did a halfway decent fucking job. You know, it's not like I have the luxury of her being able to come over and help clean any fucking day of the week. So, you know, and once again, I had planned on being here on time. It's just the last minute. She says, look, could you do me a favor and go to Walmart? I don't have a fucking car. Can you please take me to Walmart? You know, sure, yeah, what, you want me to go fuck yourself here? I mean, yes, I guess. Another part of me a couple years ago would have said, yes, go fuck yourself or whatever. Another part of me wouldn't have ever had her in my fucking house in the first place. But I think it's just fucking, you know, common fucking decency that a mother of fucking 4 asks you to take her to Walmart so she can buy food for her fucking kids. You say, okay. And yes, they're pushed into our plans, and I apologize about that. But, you know, we could have recorded a little later. And then, you know, have an episode out like we're supposed to have instead of waiting 3 fucking weeks in between each episode. But that's what it is. All right. Well, Paul can give me the big fuck you because in an hour and a half, it is his 33rd birthday. And remember, Jesus died on his 33rd birthday, so just keep that in mind.
Oh, fuck you.
But 33, Jesus Christ, that feels like so long ago. Because, you know, they say, like, every 7 years...
Yeah, how old are you again?
I'm 40, and I just turned 40, and my birthday just passed also, in between episodes. I'm 40, but they say over 7 years, like, almost every every cell in your body... over the course of 7 years has died and replaced itself.
We have a comment.
So 7 years. Oh, okay.
Is that my brother?
It's hold on. It is. Oh, it's on a different page. I don't see the comment.
I don't see it either.
Oh, it's from a Jeremy Prescrillo. Hi, Paulie. Happy almost birthday, bro.
Oh, well, thank you.
Is that your brother or your cousin or something?
That is my brother.
Oh, you're okay.
That is my brother.
I guess I know your brother by his nickname, not by his real name. So I'm like, who's Jeremy Prescrillo? But
I have many brothers.
Oh, you have many brothers. Oh.
You'll meet them all if you fuck with me too much.
Forget about it. The Prescrillo.
You'll be on the ground bleeding by the time. Oh, hi, how you doing?
Yeah, well, you know, the scourge of Henrietta. But okay, so let's see what's going on. So it's Paul's 33rd birthday. It's my 40th birthday, which passed. You know, not that I said I didn't do much, but I went out on a date on my birthday. There was a girl I was kind of talking to on the dating site that I visit, and we went out on a date on my birthday. And I said, look, I'm going to lunch. I have to be at lunch. I have to be at work at noon. So let's go. I'm going for birthday breakfast. If you want to come.
Birthday.
It's New York City. My birthday breakfast came, and so I said, all right, come join me. And it was an okay date. For what it was. I mean, she paid. That's nice because it was my birthday. But the next day she kind of let me down saying that, you know, she's just not feeling it. And then she's like, but then here's the weird thing. She goes, oh, you talk about your ex too much. And I said, okay, fine. But I mean, how am I supposed to tell the story of how I came to Rochester without talking about my ex? I mean, that's the whole reason I'm in this I'm a stranger in a strange land.
What did I tell you about that?
Well, yeah, but I'm saying it's not like I'm just talking about her. We were talking about, like, she grew up in Rochester, and I was talking about how I came to Rochester. I mean, it wasn't... I learned my lesson. Don't fucking talk about my ex. But that being said,
I'm just saying, man. Like, you just gotta be careful what you say, because some girls just take everything to offense. Like, everything is it's like you broke up their religion, and now you're excommunicated, basically.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, okay, time to let that hair go, little bro. It's sad. You don't know how much trouble you're gonna get him with his friends. And actually that's exactly what Kelsey said earlier.
No, my hair's good. It's gonna stay where it is. Thank you very much.
She had said, just shave it off like I do.
Nope.
So
not happening.
It is what it is.
It is what it is, and it's staying. So all of you can get off of me.
I mean, at the top I was pretty thin, so like I didn't have anything in the front, so I don't know. So it's just I don't know. So I got a scratch on my head there. I don't know what happened. Okay, so what was I saying? Where was I? All right, so then I was talking to another girl from my dating site. Okay, let me see what Chris says. If you date anyone over 30, they have baggage. Women need to be more realistic and less crazy. Absolutely, you're not gonna find someone over 30 without kids unless they fucking had some medical issue that couldn't make them have kids, or you have some fucking and that's an issue.
What did he say?
Says, it's running from your head to your back.
It is, and that's where it's gonna stay. It's good right here.
Or you'll talk to someone that maybe had kids and lost them, or something like that, or had a miscarriage or something to that effect. I mean, nowadays women can have kids later and later, but you're not going to have that. You're going to have women that, I thought I was in love and I was 20 years old and we thought it was going to last forever. So now I have 18 fucking kids from, 15 different men. So yeah, you got that. And, and trust me, I'm not one to fucking point fingers because I got my daughter, but I had my daughter late. I had my daughter at 33. I mean, I kind of, I waited. Well, not that I waited. No one would let me come inside them. So that.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ!
So I was talking. So on a totally separate thing, I was talking to this other girl, and then she fucking rejected me like today. I sent her a text. I'm like, "Are you ghosting me?" Because she stopped answering my text. And we were supposed to hang out and all this other stuff, and she's just like, "No, I'm not feeling it." So I'm just like, it's been one fucking rejection after another. Like, there was a girl I was kind of talking to a couple of weeks ago, but she was fucking crazy.
You have really bad luck with girls.
I have bad luck because
I'm just saying to you right now.
All right, the girl also, and I guess since Chris is on the show, I'll bring back the cray cray chicks. This girl I was talking to, who was a friend of a friend, and was basically told, "Look, just be nice to her," and basically I was told, just be nice to her and you'll probably get laid. So that being said, I was nice to her and we were talking and stuff like that. And so we would talk at night, right? And she'd want to have like all types of crazy sex talk or whatever. But then the next morning, she was like, "No, I never said that." And so, yeah, I was dealing with like legit.
I'm confused.
I was dealing with legit cray cray. You're
not still talking to her.
No. I cut her off right quick, and I was like, because we'd have conversations, and then the next morning she's like, and I'm like, oh, because like she'll say, "Oh, let's hang out" or whatever, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna hang out, and then she'll say, "Oh, I never said that," and I said, "Yes, you did," and so
what are you trying to date? Can I ask you that?
I don't know. I have bad fucking luck with. I guess crazy attracts crazy. And so that was Lord. That one, and then the other two, that one was a friend of a friend, if you want to say that. The friend basically said, "Here, I'll help you get laid. Here's a crazy chick that you can fuck." And I didn't even fuck her because she was that crazy. And then there was, like I said, then there was the one from the dating site who I went on my birthday, and then there was the other one on the dating site who I haven't even met yet. And she's already said, "Look, I'm not feeling it." So I just got bad fucking luck when it comes to chicks.
You got some bad luck.
I mean, talk about cray cray, but in honor of Chris Mounts, that cray cray, that one from 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago was genuinely fucking cray cray. Because and I said to her, I said, "Are you on medication?" Because sometimes you can, like, if maybe she took something to help her go to sleep and it fucked her up, so at night she gets all fucking horny and then she doesn't want to fucking and the next day she doesn't realize what she said, or she was drinking. I said, "Are you on medication?" I said, "Do you have a medical condition that I'm not aware about? Like maybe you're fucking diagnosed with something." And this is legit. I am not lying or exaggerating in any way, shape, or form. And she was like, no. She's just, I don't know. All right. So with that being said, I think the girl I was talking to that kind of said that she's not feeling me, I think she felt like I was kind of rushing for us to meet. We had scheduled to meet on Friday, not this Friday, the upcoming Friday. And then I had invited her out last Friday. And I'm like, "Oh, why don't you come out anyway?" you know, and she has like social anxiety and all this other bullshit.
Well, that should have been an indicator to you right there.
Yeah.
But
But then again, she's saying she wants to fight her social anxiety. Okay, fight your social anxiety and let's fucking hang out. You know, and I'm like, you know, I mean, don't be wrong. Friday nights are for my daughter, and it's probably better off that I spent it with my daughter. But I could have told my daughter's mother, look, could you watch her for a couple hours so I can fucking go on a date, so I can try to get fucking laid. I'm a lot nicer guy. I'm easier to get along with after I come. So, so I go, you know, and so I guess she, and even when one of the last text messages she sent me, she goes like, "You're moving too fast." And I'm like, okay, where is it? Chris says, I dated a woman once, all seemed cool. We made out a couple times. We made out hot and heavy. And the next day she called me and said she thought of me like a brother. What do you make out with? All right, hold on. You make out with your brother? You freak. Yeah, and that's the whole thing. I hate that fucking like I like you like a brother. Women are because you know what it is, and here it is. It's because I'm fat. It's because I'm fat. I don't think I'm ugly. I say I'm ugly. I don't think I'm ugly. I think I'm on the better side of plain. I don't think I'm an ugly guy. Okay, the goatee's retarded. I understand that. The goatee's a stupid look. But I think if I was thinner and quote unquote more attractive, like I said, I don't think I'm ugly. I think if I was thinner, that wouldn't be called aggression. That wouldn't be called aggressive. That would be called like.
Well, let me tell a little story.
I'm a take charge kind of
guy. I haven't told this story in a long time. I did tell this story on here before, but I guess we can rehash that story. When I was still dating, there was a chick, and we kind of, you know, real nice chick. Looked really nice. Had 2 kids, and she's you know how girls are. They sit there and they say, oh well, you know, I don't know if I want a relationship, blah 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 blah. And then you know they kiss you, and then you get the impression. Then you take them on a date, and then all of a sudden they start like acting really weird with you, and you're like, oh okay, what's going on here? And then she said, I remember this chick because she said the one line, and you'll know which line I'm talking about when I say it, because I've said this a couple times. But, you know, I'm sitting there going, I was like, you know, what's going on? Because you seem to have pulled back on me a little bit. I mean, I'm not trying to rush anything here. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just trying to figure out what's going on. She's like, well, you know, I just, you know, I don't want to, like I said to you, I just want to be, you know, you know, see where things, you know, I just want to have, I don't know. It was stupid. Yeah. You know how they get off the pot. Whatever excuses they come up with these stupid excuses, and so I looked at her. I said to her, I was like, so let me get this straight. So you want to take things you don't want to be in a relationship yet you kissed me. What's that all about?
They want to have their cake and eat it too.
And here's then the exact word she used to me. She's like, sometimes a kiss is just a kiss. At that moment, I immediately texted her, and that's when I had like fucking balls of steel. I'm just like, all right, well, I'm like, yeah, well, I'm sorry, but if you want to be friends, it's great, but that's all I want, because honestly, you know, you can't say it. I'm like, I'm not going to be wasting my time with you. Yeah. And that's the thing, like, you know, these women think like you can't just sit there, kiss somebody and be like, and think a guy is just going to be like, oh yeah, that's fine, whatever. No, we get a thought in our head like, hey, maybe this chick likes me, and then all of a sudden it's just like,
because women could get away with that shit, you know, saying like they could get away with doing something like that, and then at the next day having no accountability for their actions and say, oh no, I was just a kiss is just a kiss or whatever. So you know, I just, like I said, I'm just frustrated because I think if I was a better looking guy, and like I said, when I say better looking, I don't think myself as ugly. Okay, the goatee's stupid, and I'm a fat fuck. But you know, I think if I was more quote unquote attractive, you know, they wouldn't even say no. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying you got to push up on somebody, but you know, I spent all day at work, and I could kind of put this to a Facebook post I made earlier today. I spent all fucking day at work saying, be aggressive, be aggressive, be aggressive. Get those sales, get those numbers up, be aggressive. You know, I was a correctional officer for 10 years. You know, be aggressive, be aggressive. Don't let them take advantage of you. You know, to the victor goes the spoils. You know, don't be a pushover. Don't be a floor mat. You know, be aggressive, be aggressive. And apparently I'm not, it's not that I'm not being aggressive, is I'm not attractive enough. Because if I was attractive, then I wouldn't be aggressive. I'd be getting laid.
Let me say this. Let me say this to you, okay? Let me say this to you. First of all, women in Rochester are crazy. Okay, my girl's from Pennsylvania. There's a reason. Like, she came from Pennsylvania. I don't deal with these crazy chicks in Rochester. Yeah, I've had chicks that sit there and say, like, you know, they sit there and they're like telling me that they're gonna move, that they want me to, you know, introduce me to their child within the first month, and then want me like, or talking about, you know, getting in a relationship, and I'm sitting there like, well, not getting in a relationship, but like, you know, getting closer and shit. And then all of a sudden, a month, like 2 months into the relationship, oh, I'm done with you, and oh, by the way, I'm fucking this new dude now within a matter of a week. Like that's how crazy these chicks are, man.
You give the guy pussy, you get their fucking claws in him, and they find a halfway decent dude and try to fucking trap him. And I hate to sound like that, but that's how I feel about it.
Well, no, this chick wasn't trying to trap me. This chick, like, I just don't think that she would. Well, first of all, she was ugly as shit. I don't even know why the fuck I dated that piece of shit.
Yeah, but girls know how to cater to a fucking guy's ego. They know what to say, what the guy needs to hear. What, you know.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like, you need to understand that. Well, number one, Rochester chicks are fucking crazy. My brother Jeremy, if he's still watching, can tell you a couple stories about that shit. Then if you find a decent one, you get these fucking parents that are like, oh, no, you're not good enough for my daughter, so you can't date her. That happened to my brother too. That's a long story, but I'm not going to talk about that on here. But also, like, you get these girls that are like, oh, well, yeah, you look decent, and we should go out in a day. And then they're like, they talk to you, and they're like, I'm not interested anymore. Basically, what you need to do, let me make this clear to you. Here's what you need to do. Number one, don't mention your ex.
Yeah.
Don't mention anything about your ex. Don't even mention this podcast at first.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna tell you right now. Let them bring it up to you. Let them Google your ass, because let me tell you something right now. If a girl really is interested in you, next to the second date that you go on, she should be sitting there going, so I Googled you, and you should stop it right there and be like, why are you Googling?
Who the fuck is Paul?
Like, you know what I mean? Like, why are you Googling me? Like, what the fuck is that all about?
There's bound to be some stalking. I understand.
But and then number two, you should set one rule: nobody is to see your daughter until you've been in a relationship for 3 months. Okay, that's the rule you should be setting. Don't fucking sit there and tell a girl that, oh, by the way, I'm out to lunch with my daughter. Why don't you come over here? They will run for the fucking hills. Gotcha. Whether or not they have a fucking daughter or 5 children or what, they will run for the hills because they're like, this guy's immature. He doesn't even know me. I haven't even gone on a date with him. Fuck him. No. Do not fucking let them, do not introduce your kid to a girl until you've been with her for 3 months. After 3 months, when you sit there and you go, okay, I'm comfortable with this girl. I think this girl is going to be something that's going to be around at least for a while. Okay, why don't we, bring it up to her and be like, look, it's been 3 months. I think there's somebody that I can trust. Why don't you come meet my girl? It'll be easier for us because then, on the weekends when I have her, she can be around,
Yeah.
And that's what you really want. What's that right there?
Let's see. Oh.
What do you say?
You guys. You guys.
Hey. I'm just speaking the truth here, man. I'm Italian. I fucking can do that shit. But yeah, like, and number three, just be you. Fuck them. If they sit there and they try to fucking, let me put it to you this way. Let them, the one thing that I used to do, here's what I used to do. This is what I used to do. So what I would do is I would see if a girl would, how do I put this, like talk about themselves the whole time. Like they would sit there, because you get these girls that are like really about themselves. Oh yeah, I do this, me. And they never ask you a question. Mm-hmm. That's the type of girl you go, let's say like you were gonna go out, you were gonna take her to dinner and then a movie. Mm-hmm. That's the kind of girl you get to dinner and you're like, all right, have a nice day and get the fuck out after you're done with the dinner. You be nice about it, you let her go, and you get the fuck out. I've done that. I don't want to fucking deal with, sometimes I go on one day, when I went out on a date or something, I would be like, the fuck is this? Like, yeah. I'm like, all right, well, you have a nice day, and I'm just, what I'm saying to you is like, you just need to, really, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's called Tinder. Just get yourself fucking laid. That's all I'm saying to you.
Well, it's but that's the whole thing is right now. It's not about getting laid.
Here's what I'm saying to you. This is what I'm saying to you though. Okay, it's not about you getting laid, but you want to get laid because every other word out of your mouth when you're talking about a girl is getting your dick sucked or getting laid. Okay, man. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Right. So why not do this? There's no reason why you can't have 50 goddamn dating profiles and still be on Tinder. Okay?
True.
I never had Tinder when I was dating. Okay? If I had Tinder, I would get laid all the fucking time. I would I wouldn't even care if the chick was ugly. I'd put a fucking bag over her face and fuck the shit out of her. That sounds kind of fucked up, but I'm serious, man. If I had Tinder, I would be like fucking home run.
I've had a Tinder account. It's just after no fucking activity. No one's swiping.
Well, you also got to be active. You know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
man? And you got to, and do me a favor, dude. Don't go for a girl out of your league. What I mean by that is, don't try to go for the goddamn supermodel that you think is stupid and just wants to fuck you.
Gotcha.
What's going on there?
Let me see. Paul. Paul.
What?
That's it. Just Paul. Just Paul! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Paul. No, but yeah.
What did I say? Whatever.
That's your man talking.
But I'm just saying, like you just
Yeah, no, it's look, I had a Tinder. Look, right now I guess I'm in a different state right now, and I'm trying to get my shit together. I have my fucking house getting clean. I'm trying
by your ex, mind you.
By my ex, yes, okay. But it's good for my fucking mental health to fucking to kind of get my shit organized. It'd be nice to have a halfway decent apartment. So if I did meet someone, I can have them come over to my house. And,
and I totally agree with you.
I don't.
I totally agree with you. But what I'm saying to you is you need to leave yourself open for whatever can happen. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm not saying that, and I'm being serious. Like, you need to leave yourself open to being able to. Yes, have sex with girls randomly if you want, but also if something comes up where you just date a girl and hey, the girl's good, okay, maybe I don't need to be on Tinder now, because Tinder, honestly, like anybody that's on Tinder, basically is, you don't want them. Yeah, you're there to hook up. I mean, if a girl on Tinder says to you, mind you, I've never been on Tinder, so I don't know this, but mind you, from what I've heard, if a girl on Tinder sits there and says she wants a relationship, come on now. That's not what that. That's not what that.
That's the same thing like with girl. Okay, so Kelsey says, you're going to put a bag over her head and fuck. No, that's the old Paul.
That's the old me.
But that's the whole thing. But that's the same thing when girls go on dating sites and they say they want a fucking friend. I'm looking for a friend. Well, you're on the wrong fucking site. Then go to a friend site. You want friends, they go on Facebook. Everyone in the fucking world's on Facebook. You can make 1 million friends. You could literally add someone as a friend.
Whole thing. It's the whole thing. I remember that when I was on Plenty of Fish. Like, it's the same thing. Like, it's like, oh, I just want to meet a friend. I'm like, why?
Well, you're on a dating site.
Yeah, I know. Like, why?
If you want a friend,
go
to Facebook. You get plenty of friends. Go to Twitter.
What's the other one? I'm trying to think.
You could literally add everyone. Well, I think they have like limits.
My favorite on these dating sites is where they have like a laundry list. Your teeth have to be clean. You have to
6'4"
have a diet of whatever so many calories a day. Oh my god! I saw that on one profile, and I wanted to message her and just be like, "Are you a fucking psycho?"
Yeah.
I'm just like, "Are you a fucking psycho?" Because I have a feeling that's what it is. I just don't understand. I really don't. And that's what happens. Like, you get a couple of these girls that are like, I want this, and I want the perfect man. I want this, and this. If you put a laundry list on, you will not get the perfect man. You will get the douchebag that just wants to use you for sex. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. So, all
right. So let's move on to Oscar letters.
No.
Okay.
I don't want to hear these.
Come on, let's go to Oscar letters. Okay, let me see.
How many of them are there?
There's 2 of them. One's short, one's long. Okay, so what had happened was, I guess I had made a post about me being angry. Then my other friend just asks, what's going wrong? What's keeping you from focusing on your happiness? I said, I need to stop expecting people to do what I think they ought to be doing, even if they said they're going to do it. I just need to let it go. I try to come through all the time, and I have to learn to deal with frustration and disappointment that comes with others not coming through for me. So Oscar, fucking took a screenshot of that, and then he says, Chris, let's stop with this anger. You constantly complain about how people in society in general always let you down. No one owes you a damn thing. You're right.
That's true.
You should always expect people to fail you, as you failed so much in life.
Wow.
How could you pound your chest in anger where your life has been an utter shit show? But it's the whole thing. I put my faith in people.
Oh, Oscar, do you... Oh, my God.
They've all let me down. He goes, I've listened to every single episode. The most eye-opening one was the one you did with the comic book men, where you revealed your downfall as a correctional officer for a piece of junky dopehead pussy. Damn, you're an ugly fat fuck, but jail pussy?
Wow.
It makes me think of one of those seasons of Orange is the New Black. Yeah, the first season with Porn Stash. Then your stories of fights and failure, your demons and anger issues, you yourself being arrested. What the fuck, dude? You really make me feel good about myself. If you haven't figured out by now, no good deed goes unpunished, and then you are as stupid as you look. Sorry for the harshness, but I really think you need a dose of tough love. I read your posts from time to time, and it's always either I'm so smart and wise and everyone is a lemming, blah, blah, blah. Do yourself a favor and have Darrell take you out of your misery. By the way, when we'll be hearing the pistol packing article, more episodes.
When Chris decides to get Wi-Fi.
Fuck Toonami. Both your number one fan and number one critic, Oscar. P.S. Thanks again for letting me appreciate that my life isn't so much. My life is so much better than yours. All right,
wow.
And then let me see what's the other one.
He just loves you.
Yeah, well, no, it's look. I understand. Look, at least that's honest feedback. It's as honest as we're gonna get.
A little too honest. But
Okay,
yeah.
so then what do we have? Then the other one, and this one's not, I guess, kind of political. He goes, Chris, you claim to be Puerto Rican. Yes, I guess. I'm sure your Spanish is like your sex life, non-existent. Oh my God. Yo tengo mucho hambre. Let me see. What are your thoughts on the ex-con terrorist Oscar Lopez Rivera being honored at the parade? Which is true. There was a guy who was a terrorist that they're honoring at the parade, and I think it's utter fucking madness. He should not be part of the parade. A lot of corporate sponsors are pulling out. That's what she said.
Wow.
He goes, how do you feel about the corporate sponsorship being taken away? What do most New Yorkers feel about this topic? A lot of my friends on Facebook who are down in New York City where the big Puerto Rican Day parade takes place, they're not happy about it. They do believe this guy's a fucking terrorist. The mayor of, now of course we're left wing. We're very liberal. We're very left wing, but we're not left wing to the point of fucking being retarded. And the mayor of New York City is one of those people that's so left wing that he's fucking damn near retarded. So he was actually supporting this guy, letting him be in the parade. And actually, I'll be honest with you, when I was a kid, because since my birthday is June 14th, it's always around the second week of September. Second week of June. The parade in New York City is always around the second Sunday in June. So with that being said, the parade is always around my birthday. And when I was younger, I used to go to the parade all the time with my friends. And it became like, it was a reason to go hang out and meet people. You go to the Puerto Rican Day parade and everybody's there. Just New Yorkers in general are there because they want to see the floats and they want to meet people. And it was a place to meet girls and hang out with your friends. And then there'd be guys there drinking, people there smoking weed. And, of course, the usual assholes come out and ruin it. So I didn't like the fact that Oscar Lopez Rivera was going to be in the parade. And I wouldn't, if I was in New York City, I wouldn't have gone to the parade. I would have just avoided it. And not that I have gone to, even, I haven't gone in a couple of years, but, when you want to say that's my protest, that would have been my protest because it was a bad idea. There's so many better people to honor and hardworking people to honor. So I would have, so on a serious topic, Oscar's actually giving us a serious topic to talk about. I'm against it. So I think with that, we'll be back with more dick and fart jokes.
This episode of Two Strangers, One Podcast is brought to you by Comics Etc. 1115 East Main and North Goodman at the Hungerford Building, door number 8. Find out more information at comicsetc.biz or like them on Facebook at facebook.com/comicsetc1.
Did you ever see a film at such a young age it left you traumatized with cinematic wounds? Necrophilia. It's a dead issue, man. Don't push it. Cinema Psyops is a weekly podcast documenting an ongoing experiment on the mind of an unwilling test subject.
No one should have to watch this movie.
Oh, no one should have to watch this?
No one should have to watch this movie.
Surprisingly, it's not a topic that a lot of people really want to tackle.
I'm shocked, prudes.
I know, really.
Right?
It's the next sexual frontier that no one wants to explore.
I am, in the most sincerest of senses, disappointed in you.
It takes a powerful goddess like Connie, jam her arm down the monster's throat and kill it. Oh, I'm still tripping out over that. Even as a kid, I was like, I gotta find a girl like that. Every week, I get a new look of disappointment that I never thought I could get out of her.
Unimaginable. At 12 years old, you should not be watching this movie.
Obviously.
At 13, you should not be. 14, you shouldn't be. I'm not entirely sure even 17-year-olds should be watching this movie.
Just because you're offended by something doesn't mean that you have the right to demand that it doesn't exist. Watching this film again, I had all of this little nerd glee with everything that kept
little
popping
history
up.
all popping up
absolutely.
at you.
So I totally loved this film.
Hey, I know why you couldn't see that. It's because your brain's warped from watching this shit at 12 years old.
Yeah, this is a rough movie. I told you ahead of time when we were getting ready to do it that it was
How
going to be
did
a
you
rough
watch
one.
this shit at 12?
Because physical wounds heal, cinematic ones don't. Listen to Cinema Psyops.
Click and Hit, enhancing the experience for all recreational smokers. Click and Hit is a one-handed portable vaporizer. This smoking pipe has a compact 4-stage design, complete with a built-in, windproof, butane refillable torch lighter. The large burn chamber holds your stash of legal herb or pipe tobacco. Click the button to ignite and inhale as usual. When you are done, put it back in your pocket for later. Smoke anytime with the touch of a button. No more carrying around grinders and tins. You can leave the pipe, rolling papers, and even your lighter at home. The Click and Hit cordless vaporizer is no bigger than a normal cigar, making it the world's smallest and most discreet vaporizer. It's perfect for use in small places or shared rooms. It's efficient, getting 5 to 8 draws from your packed chamber. It's affordable at just $19.95 each. Buy 3 and the shipping is free. Buy 4 and you get the 5th one free. Visit www.click-hit.com. That's clickandhit.com. And now for listeners of Two Strangers One Podcast, you can use promo code STRANGERS and receive 10% off your purchase at clickandhit.com. That's promo code STRANGERS for 10% off your purchase.
And we're back, Paul. Okay, now here's some...
Well, wait a minute. To answer that first email, Oscar, by the way, yeah, I try to tell him, I try to give him a little tough love, but then he starts crying and then he goes.
Well, okay. Well, this is something I should have addressed in the first half of the episode, but I think it's a big fucking topic and it's sort of serious. I've broken my sobriety.
Yeah.
Part of doing this podcast is I've always said, you know, clean and sober since technically December 26, 2011. And not that I fucking plan on getting fucking wasted all the time and getting drunk all the time, but it was the 10-year anniversary of my friend who passed away. Like, I just turned 40, and my friend died right a couple days after I turned 30. It's been 10 years. And he himself had turned 30 about a month before his birthday. A month before his death. So he turned 30. It was his 10-year anniversary that he was gone, and I was feeling down, and I had wanted a drink, and I had a fucking drink. And so, you know, technically have I broken my sobriety? Yes. And you know, I've always kind of held that as some like self-righteous fucking, you know, chip on my shoulder, like I'm better than everyone because I don't fucking drink, or I don't smoke pot, or I don't do drugs, or whatever. And I've broken that sobriety, and it's sort of, and if anything, I've let myself down more than anything else. But it also comes to the point where, what point was I trying to make? You know what I'm saying? I have to show a little bit of self-control. You know, you can't, and yes, okay, obviously the ultimate self-control is not drinking at all. But, you know, I can go out and have an adult beverage without being like the fucking wet blanket. I could go out and, you know, or even not even go out. It's too fucking expensive to go out and drink. I could stay home and have a fucking beer if I wanted to because, you know, I'm a grown fucking ass man. I could do what the fuck I want in my house. I'm not hurting anybody.
I don't think that you should have to, like, you can go out and have a drink, but it's very telling that all of a sudden you had one drink. You know what I'm saying? Like it kind of like, you know, when I saw that I went, okay, something's going on with Chris.
I've turned 40, and you know, it's sort of, and it's not a midlife crisis. I think I went through my midlife crisis, you know, years ago. But
it's a midlife crisis.
It's sort of, you know, it's sort of just one of those deals where, like, you know, I made my point. I spent half a fucking decade sober. You know, I'm starting to get my life in order. I'm trying to get my life in order. And not that I want to sabotage that by drinking, but I'm also letting go of, like, you don't have to be a fucking monk to fucking get shit done. You know, you can have a drink, you know, and I have no real fucking interest in smoking pot or anything like that. But, you know, if it was fucking legal or whatever, I'd say, okay, you know, but then again, under the same provisions where if I am going to get high, I'm not going to fucking drive anywhere. I'm going to be, you know, if I'm going to get high, it's going to be in the fucking confines of my own home. But it's sort of,
I agree.
You know, and the same thing like drinking and driving. I think people who drink and drive are fucking utter pieces of shit. You know, have I done it in the past? Yes, absolutely. And you know, I don't intend on drinking and driving. When I did drink, I stood where the fuck I was for a while. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get in my car and drive anywhere. So I think I just needed to address that just because it's been part of the show since the beginning. I've been, you know, clean and sober up until this point.
Still making a habit. That's
exactly. I'm not making a habit. I'm just trying to, you know, I'm trying to change things in my life. And I'm like, look, I spent all this time not drinking. It's not fucking helping.
Well, I don't think it. I think the other part is it doesn't help that you are 40. You've tried to from what I know of you, you've tried to get into these relationships, and they've all turned out to be utter and complete shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The only good thing that came out of it was your daughter. I mean, there is some good to it, but yeah, I can understand if turning 40. My biggest thing that I've always had is, I've had my little bouts of kind of like depression, like nobody really wanted me. Mm-hmm. Not anything lately, but some, when I was in my 20s, like, it kind of sucks. You try to date women and they, and I think that has something to do with, let's face it, I think that does weigh on you a little bit.
Yeah, rejection sucks.
Rejection sucks.
Like rejection like 3 times in a month.
See, what you need to do, what I'm saying to you is, what you need to do is you need to harden yourself. And, I joke about, all joking aside, I think you having, even if it's random girls, and I'm not like all for this, but what I'm saying to you is you have to kind of build your confidence level to where when you see a girl that sits there and says to you, oh yeah, I have anxiety, you can sit there and go, okay, wait a minute. Give me a little bit more information about this. And if they give you this like weird vibe and be like, look, I'm not interested.
Yeah,
because you got to be the one. See, that's the thing. Like, you got to be the one strong enough to say,
cray.
Cray. You got to be the one strong enough. And honestly, some guys need to get laid. And I know it's gonna sound like you're like a whore or something, but you're not. I'm just saying, like, some guys just need to get laid. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And
I should be fat.
Dude, like, I'm not saying that you need to. I'm not saying that it's you have to be. I'm not saying that you won't. That you'll eventually find somebody and your life will finally settle down. You won't have to worry about stupid shit. Mm-hmm. But until then, you need to get yourself to a confident level where you can just be like, I like you, let's continue to date, whatever. Or if a girl like gives you the wrong sign, you're just like, look, we can be friends, I had a great time with you this one time, but I just think that we're not going to work out. That's where you need to be the strong person.
See the red flag and bounce.
Because that's the thing, like, the more that you get rejected, the more you're going to sit there and be like, ugh. Because that's what happened to me. The more I got rejected, the more I went into a goddamn hole, and then I myself lost that confidence that I had. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's kind of what you need to do is you need to build that confidence. And, if getting laid is what it is, then honestly, get on Tinder and stop. I hope she's not watching this, but just fuck whatever you can, okay? Within reason. I mean, if it makes the wall peel, don't do that.
Shallow hell needs to
go. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you need to, it's spread your wild oats, okay?
Yeah. I'm trying.
And just, look, dude, I hate to say it, but all the chicks that you've dated have had some really fucked up problems.
Yeah.
Okay? And what I'm saying to you is you need to find...
I need a decent person to just give me a shot. Just say, look, okay, yes, he may have giant red flags, but give me a chance to fucking, like, these chicks shut me down right from the fucking beginning. It's like, give me a fucking shot. Give me a chance to try to prove to you that I'm a decent dude trying to do the right fucking thing, who will do right by you.
You'll find a
because
chick...
I'm not looking to fuck around. I'm not looking to...
You'll find a chick like I have that's upstairs.
I mean not to say... I don't want to say I sowed my wild oats, but I mean, I'm beyond the point right now where if I was to get with someone serious, it's not about like, oh, what else can I get? How can I upgrade? How can I upsell?
Well, you don't want to see. That's what I'm saying to you. Like, you need to perceive things as. I think the best example. There's a guy I know that I work with that he always would sit there and be like. And I still fuck with him to this day because he used to be this picky. He'd be like, oh, she's got a freckle, I can't date her. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, dude. I'm like, I'm seeing this girl and she's like a fucking like 9 out of 10. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, you're not going to date her because she has a freckle? Yeah, it bothers me. I'm like, dude, you need to like not do that. And I said to him, like, he told me about a situation the other night. And I said to him, I was like, well, I'm like, let me put it to you this way. You said that the chick's cool, right? And he's like, yeah. I said to him, I was like, okay, so, this girl's probably nervous. She's probably, she really likes you, obviously. That's an obvious thing, the vibe that I'm getting from what you're telling me. So just let it slide. You're the kind of, if you really like this chick and she's cool and she's not like anything that you've dated before, let it slide and, continue on. Mm-hmm. And if she does it again, then yeah, you got to make a decision. Do I really want to stay with this chick or whatever? I don't really want to tell what that was. was, but you know.
Gotcha.
Suffice to say, what I'm saying is you know, you're only going on dates. It's not saying you're gonna put a ring on somebody in like 2 weeks.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I'm trying to work on myself to be a better fucking person, so then I can find a better person. All right, let's get to the nerdy news. And there's a lot.
There's nerdy news.
A lot of nerdy news. Okay, I think one of the bigger ones, at least in my life or whatever. I mean, it's sad that As a Stranger affected my life so much, but Adam West had passed away.
It's a big one.
87, if I'm not mistaken.
Something like that, yeah.
I think he passed from leukemia. And forgive me if I'm wrong, whatever. Long story short is he passed away. Now, luckily, I mean, if you want to say luckily, they were doing a second animated movie, which they said all his parts were recorded for.
Which is awesome.
So at least we get one more fucking shot to see, or at least hear, Adam West as Batman. And this is, and it's an interesting one because they're bringing in William Shatner to do the voice of Two-Face. Burt Ward is the voice of Robin, and I forgot which one is Catwoman, but one of the Catwomen. But I don't think it's Julie Newmar. I think it's the other, whatever. The point is that, you know, we're kind of going to get, and I'm almost choking up when I say that, but, you know, we are kind of getting one last Batman for a lot of people who between 66 and 89, you know, before Michael Keaton gave us his Batman, to a lot of people, and a lot of people still never liked any of the newer incarnations of Batman. They liked the light knight, the bright knight. You know, to a lot of people, Adam West was Batman. And as campy and as crazy and silly as that show was, you know, it entertained a lot of people. You know, it took forever to come out on fucking Blu-ray and DVD. And a lot of people were very excited about it. He made a lot of people very happy. And, you know, and it kind of sucks. I mean, there was that long chunk of his career where after Batman he couldn't fucking get a job to save his life because everyone thinking of, you know, corny ass Batman. Luckily things kind of come full circle. You get a guy like fucking Seth MacFarlane who ended up growing up watching Batman, you know, kind of giving, you know, helped, you know, gave fucking, you know, Mayor West, you know, okay, you know, here's a, you know, I mean, you're calling him Mayor West, obviously it's not, you know, it's Adam West, but it's not really Adam West, but, you know, it's enough to you know, give him a job, give him a career, introduce him to a whole new fucking generations of fans, because, you know, a lot of people, like, when he passed away, they're like, oh yeah,
it's not Adam West, it's Adam Wee.
but it's saying it's Adam West and you know, and Mayor West, and it's a character, but, you know, it's, you know, and then even, you know, for people who listen to this podcast, if they listen to Hollywood Babylon, which is, you know, podcast I listen to, Ralph Garman, who was a fan and friend of Adam West, helped him get a star in the Walk of Fame, and because Ralph Garman does voices on Family Guy also, and so it was sort of, you know, it was so awesome for Ralph to kind of you know, do that for his friend, and at least Adam West got at least that recognition before he passed away, that, you know, that people would come in and you know, and they were just, I mean, Danny Duncan, a fan of the show, he had recently gone to, I want to say about 2-3 years ago, he went to a Comic-Con and got a picture of him with I mean, it cost him like $150, but I mean, you know, I mean, obviously, if, look, people are paying $150 to take a picture with you, you know, it's showing that, you know, you still have a fan base out there. Okay, and speaking of deaths, I mean, it's not new, she already passed away, but the Carrie Fisher autopsy, they said they had found. Now, okay, Carrie Fisher was a tough fucking broad, you know, and you know, she fought the good fight for what it was. But when they did the autopsy on her body, they found cocaine, heroin, and ecstasy. And then, like, the cocaine and heroin, like, that's like the fucking roller coaster, you know. Cocaine gets you up, heroin gets you down.
Ecstasy brings you back up.
And it's like, you know, and you know what, and I hate to say it, but, you know, I kind of understand the heroin and cocaine. Not that I'm not justifying, I'm just saying is, those are the more traditional drugs. Who the fuck is giving Princess Leia ecstasy? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and
well, but here's the, I mean, I guess, like, you know, it goes to show once it's hard to get away from the drugs.
Yeah, because she was like in her late 60s, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So,
and think about this: if she hadn't taken those drugs, she would still be alive today.
Yeah, she didn't overdose some other time, but you know, but it just blows my mind that, like, you know, what the fuck are you doing? You know, you think you get to a certain age and you sort of like say, okay, I'm gonna chill out now. But cocaine,
I mean,
heroin,
I am.
and ecstasy.
I don't want to shit on her grave, but yeah, like I've kind of like processed that as you just kind of got your career back, and you know you were kind of. And as far from what I heard,
Adam
she was.
West, I mean, she was worked in 20 years.
Well, she was advocate. Well, I mean, she probably didn't because of all the royalties and shit. But
yeah.
I mean, she. You know, here you are. You're back in the movie. You're back in the Star Wars thing. You probably made some good cash off of that. Like, and you're gonna at least do one, maybe two more movies. Like, what are you doing? Like,
yeah. And you know, it also shows that like if a person wants to fucking hurt themselves, they're gonna hurt themselves. Because I'm pretty sure she was probably surrounded by people who obviously didn't want her. Oh shit! Chris says. Bill Cosby cosplaying Lando. He's your pusher man. See, what a good looking girl we have here.
Would you like a pudding pop?
We're having some of this galactic gargle blaster drink.
That's so fucked up.
Come here and have this drink. It's like he's like, here, drink this, and she's like, don't worry, Bill, I'm already high already. I'm already fucked up as it is, Bill. Thank you very much. I don't need anything from you.
Let me give you some Quaaludes. I'm sorry, that's kind of fucked up, but still.
General Huxtable. All right, so that being said, I mean, okay, so it just once again, who the hell's taking ecstasy in their late 60s? But you know,
yeah.
And I'm not, and it sounds weird. I mean, I'm talking about it very irreverently. And no way am I disparaging her career and her lifestyle and everything like that, only because, I mean, she's meant so much to so many people.
But it's tough, dude. Like, you can't, like, just sit here and not talk about that. It's a kind of, like, you know, that's one of those things where you sit there and you look at your child and you go, this is not what you do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you know what? That's kind of like why, like, I see how these actors are. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, we lost Heath Ledger, for example. Heath Ledger was one of the best, like, actors we had out there, but because he was, you know, so engrossed in a role, he overdosed on a drug that he was taking to settle his ass down. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's... I don't want to. I would never want to be a part of that. You know what I mean?
Drugs are bad.
Drugs are bad. Okay.
Okay. Staying within the Star Wars universe.
Okay.
Lord and Miller, directors of the Lego Movie, directors of Jump Street, 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street, producers of Last Man on Earth, who were directing the Han Solo movie. Were let go, fired, shit canned, whatever you want to call it.
Were they fired, or did they walk away from it?
I think they were fired because the Lucasfilm, or the division of Lucasfilm that now is owned by Disney, has basically said, I think like they were making like a comedy. Which, I mean, you hired guys who fucking made 22 Jump Street, you know, 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street, and fucking what's the, you know, and the Lego Movie, and then you're gonna say not make a comedy? I mean, you know, and of course, you know, obviously, like the Star Wars movies do have comedy in them, but they're not comedies. But you don't hire guys who have done nothing but comedy and expect them to do something serious. Like, you know, like
I do like how Ron Howard is the director. I think that's a good direction.
Yeah. Well, because
I'm just gonna be an ass. Mm-hmm. I'm just gonna be an ass and just say it. I just hope Tom Hanks doesn't show up in it.
Oh my god!
Like every single film that Ron Howard does, I feel like Tom Hanks will show up in.
Tom Hanks as Princess Leia.
No, he's like over. That'd be kind of funny. He's like over.
Luke, my brother.
He's like over in the bar. He's like, "What can I get you?" I'm like, "What? No, Tom, no, Tom, go away." Like, Tom, I love you, but
yeah,
stop. And by the way, speaking of Tom Hanks, like, I swear to God, like and I use Tom Hanks as an example, like any old actor, like people are like this when they're in those movies today now. Like Tom Hanks comes out in a movie and you're like, oh, this movie's gonna do wonderful, and then it just bombs. It's like, what happened? You know?
I don't know. Well, we'll talk about shitty movies in a moment, but I'll get to there because I got 3 shitty movies that I've seen personally.
Oh joy.
Connections week. Okay, so let's see. We got
another comment.
Yeah, no. Tom Hanks is a stormtrooper peeing. He does pee in every film.
Well, see, here's the thing.
He
Like,
peed in Shawshank Redemption.
like we've had that is the thing. Like people have like been in Star Wars movies that we didn't know. Like James Bond there, Daniel Craig. Like he was a stormtrooper and we never knew that he was in the film.
Ah.
I'm like sitting there going, can I be a stormtrooper? Like I'll fucking go in there and wear that
Tom
shit.
Hanks is going to be the gangster that Han Solo wins the Millennium Falcon from. Because they're playing a card game called Sabacc, and I'm a real fucking nerd, so I know that. And so they have to have the scene where Han Solo wins.
Well,
and so you get Tom Hanks, and you put
his name?
you put a scar on him, and you give him a fucking like purple mohawk, and you make him fucking look, you give him like a crazy evil.
All right,
voice
you're going a little
box.
too far. You're going a little too far.
Come
man.
on, let's Tom Hanks. If we're gonna do it, let's do it the fuck up right.
Or we could,
Make him look like real gangster. Give him a grill.
What the fuck is his name? I'm trying to think of the actor. He was in the first Superman movie for this new trilogy. He was Superman's father.
Kevin Costner?
Kevin Costner. Just put Kevin Costner in there. Let's fuck. If we want to really go old people, let's fucking do this shit.
But you brought up Tom Hanks because Tom Hanks is in every fucking Ron Howard movie.
But that's the thing. Like he's in like every single. He's like the main. That'd be kind of funny. Like all of a sudden he becomes Han Solo. I would laugh. I would honestly just sit there and start dying on the floor.
Because this is the Han Solo movie. I mean, how far do the flashbacks go? What if we see baby Han Solo? Or like...
Here's the thing. Here,
wait. His father abandoned him, and his father's played by
Tom Hanks. There you go. Yeah,
Tom Hanks is Forrest Gump is Han Solo's dad.
There you go.
But you'd have to make him badass. Make him they're not going to curse in these movies, but it would be funny if they had cursing. But I mean, obviously, this movie was going to be some sort of comedy, some sort of more comedic than a sci-fi. Or comedic sci-fi. But,
what kind of like swearing would they have? Be like, hey, Nerf herder.
Nerf herder. Yeah. Hey, you Gorkle
Hey, he swore. Throw him in jail.
You kiss your mother with that mouth. So
actually,
Ron Howard is doing it now. Ron Howard, he directed Willow. That was a Lucasfilm movie, if I'm not mistaken. Willow.
Mm-hmm.
He had put in some serious consideration doing the Dark Tower movies, which obviously never came through. But and obviously the guy is a fucking competent and brilliant director, so the movie's going to be in good hands. It's just so weird how it goes from Lord and Miller to fucking to Ron Howard.
Well, I think it tells you something when it goes from these guys that are making a comedy to a director that usually does serious movies. Mm-hmm. So you're kind of sitting there seeing where Disney wants to go with this. Yeah. So hopefully it'll be really good, and we'll see what happens.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
Hopefully it's still on track, too.
I'm pretty sure Ron Howard has done like one or two comedies.
Yeah.
Probably back in the day. Did he direct Splash? No, I don't know. Maybe once again I'm thinking about fucking Tom Hanks. Ron Howard comedy. I hope it's just not like all... Oh, look, Jesus Christ, the first fucking... He did Splash. Okay, he did that stupid movie, The Dilemma, with Vince Vaughn.
He did Polar Express, I think.
Polar Express, but I'm talking comedy. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, Parenthood. I don't know if that's really a comedy, but I know a lot of people like it. He did Splash. Splash is a lot of people like Splash. So I mean,
I think he did Polar Express, didn't he?
No, he did Polar Express.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure he did. Oh no. Polar Express was what's his face? That's the guy who did Robert Zemeckis did Polar Express. That's when he was in his whole I'm going to make 3D movies.
Oh, okay. No. Well,
and because he directed Splash, that's
I think
it's. For me.
I'm pretty sure that's his company though.
And then, all right. So we got. Okay, Ron Howard, he's gonna do a good job. Okay, all right, we can skip this classic SNES. People are excited about it. Paul's excited about it. I can give two shits.
Do you want to know why I'm excited about it?
Because they didn't do anything with the regular NES. So
you want to know why I'm excited about that? Because I used to play that shit all the time. And here's the other thing: I can go and get Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Turtles in Time, and play it on that fucking shit. I loved that game.
Is it on there? Is it going to be installed on there?
It's not going to be on there, but I'm pretty sure you can play old NES games on there.
You couldn't do that with the other.
You can get the what's that?
The one.
No, you could
for the Nintendo. You could play old cartridges.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was mistaken.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
So I really
Turtles in Time. Yeah. I mean,
was one of my favorite games.
To play. I mean, obviously, for me, Super Metroid was my shit. F-Zero was my shit.
Yeah.
I mean, would I have fun with it? Yeah, but I'm not exactly running out the same way I didn't run out and get the classic NES, the regular NES, because It's like, it's not expandable. They give you those bullshit fucking controllers that are short, and they should have just made it a USB port. And so, I mean, does it look cool? Would it be nice on your shelf or whatever? Yeah, but I'm not excited. And I grew up playing a Nintendo. I had Nintendo and a Super
Well,
Nintendo.
my kid loves like Mario games for some odd reason, so he would love that.
The original Mario Kart was on that.
So yeah, that would be awesome. So
okay. More nerdy news. Danny Elfman. Da, 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 da. The guy who gave us the classic Batman, and of course a bunch of other, the Simpsons theme and a billion other themes. Spider-Man. He did, the 2002 Spider-Man, but no one can really remember that Spider-Man one. Pee Wee Herman. He's Beetlejuice, dun, 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 dun. Danny Elfman is being brought on to the Justice League movie, and I'm wondering if it has to do with what's his face, Joss Whedon taking over. Because before all these other movies, the Superman, Batman v Superman were all they were scored by Hans Zimmer,
right? And
then they also had kind of the DJ Junkie XL.
Right.
They were kind of collaborating together, and I guess Joss Whedon told Hans Zimmer and Junkie XL, "Have a nice day, here's your paycheck," and he's getting Danny Elfman. So that's going to be interesting because Danny Elfman's written the iconic fucking Batman theme, and what are the chances we'll hear? Da, 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 da. Oh, and it says, okay, Chris Mount says Joss Whedon must be a big Oingo Boingo fan. Well, I mean, yeah, because Oingo Boingo, that was Danny Elfman's original band from the super duper early '80s. Right. But I mean, it's all owned by Warner Brothers. It's not like it's going to violate any kind of copyright.
No,
but
I don't see them doing. Well, see,
if I see Batfleck and I hear da na 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 na, I may blow my pants right off.
Can I be honest with you?
The cum will pull my pants right off my legs. And I will destroy the screen because I like Batfleck.
Stop.
And I like the Danny Elfman Batman. And I'm not saying have that be the whole movie because it's not Batman, it's the Justice League movie. But I want, when Batman's doing his fucking thing, I want to hear na 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 na, or even if it's real gentle, there'll be a scene of Batman. Na, na, na.
I don't think we're gonna see that, but. What
I mean, it's all owned by Warner Brothers.
I kind of hope that Josh Whedon basically. I'm just gonna say it. I hope they change the Batman suit. I hated the Batman suit.
Oh yeah, where he looks like
fucking from Watchmen. Yeah,
Well, it's. I mean,
other than like I said, from the mask, the mask is fine. But from that, the whole suit, you're looking at it this is the owl suit. What the fuck are you doing? Mm-hmm. So I kind of hope they change that a little bit.
It's so weird that we're living in a day where the Justice League movie changes. That's different because someone died. Whatever.
We're living in a day where Josh Whedon has done a Marvel film and now he's working on DC films.
That the Avengers movies. Yes. The first time we were seeing an Avengers movie and technically the first Justice League movie are directed by the same fucking guy. But was going to say that I think Bob the Goon cameo. I'll be honest with you, that reference is over my head, Chris. I don't know who Bob the Goon is, and I should. Maybe I'm
moving on to the next thing.
Bob from Batman part of the first one. Bob the Joker's sidekick. Yeah, but so Danny Elfman's going to be doing the score, and it's so weird. It's once again, how do you? I mean, Hans Zimmer is a great fucking artist, and Junkie XL I'll give his respect to, but to kick out Hans Zimmer and bring in Danny Elfman, and don't be wrong, Danny Elfman is just as powerful, but they're two different worlds,
right?
But it's obviously showing that they're going to lighten it up because Hans Zimmer does dramatic shit, Danny Elfman does lighthearted shit. So I think Joss Whedon is trying to change the tone of the movie. Okay, so mentioned a moment ago, we had mentioned shitty movies. Let's talk about some shitty movies, people. It's been 3 or 4 weeks since our last episode,
and let's make it quick so I don't die from sleep.
And I've been going to fucking Paul's job and watching some fucking movies
and stalking me.
And he's not giving me a penny or giving me a discount or anything like that. Okay, first one, The Mummy, which oddly enough, and the movie sucked. Don't get me wrong, the movie sucked. It was better than I thought it was going to be. You know, it's got Tom Cruise being fucking Tom Cruise. It's the most Tom Cruise movie I've ever seen in my fucking life. They got the hot chick who's playing the mummy. Spoiler alert, which I think if you gotten this long and you don't really care about spoilers, they show like vampire skulls. They show like a hand from like the creature from the Black Lagoon. They obviously want this to be part of the bigger dark universe where they're going to bring in the Wolfman and Bride of Frankenstein and the Invisible Man. It was better than I thought it was going to be, but it was still kind of stupid. And then, you know, they spend the whole movie with this hot chick being the mummy, and spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. You have 5 seconds to fucking stop this podcast if you want to hear it. Basically, Tom Cruise, you know, saves the day by stealing her power. So now he becomes the mummy. So this whole movie called The Fucking Mummy isn't really about... I mean, I was like, how the fuck... Because I'm like, how are they going to bring him back if he's not the mummy? Well, they made him the mummy because he steals her powers and kills her or whatever. So now he's stuck being the mummy. And I don't think it's a very... And from what I understand, like, I think they're probably not going to do any more of these movies because, you know, if they got to pay Johnny Depp and they got to pay Javier Bardem and they got to pay fucking...
Well,
you know, who's the other ones? They're like one or two. You know, the rumor is it will be the rumor is Bride of Frankenstein will be Angelina Jolie, but that's the rumor.
So basically, you're gonna get to Transformers anyways, probably real quick in a minute. But these movies aren't doing well over here because they're sci-fi movies, and I keep saying the one thing that I keep saying, and I will continue to say, and I said it when Ghost in the Shell was out. Nobody wants to watch sci-fi movies, so. What's happening is these movies, yes, they're being made. They maybe do like Transformers didn't even hit 100 million, and that was over a 5-day period. The thing is with these movies, yeah, it doesn't do well here, but overseas it just explodes.
Yeah,
it does like $200 to $300 million overseas, and it way surpasses its budget. So while the perfect example we always come back to. Is oh god, what is the name of that movie? Big robots fighting aliens.
Pacific Rim.
Uh-huh. It didn't do really well over here, but did huge overseas. That's why they brought it back to do another one because it did so well overseas. That's the thing. If they're gonna make a shitload of money, they're gonna do that. See, the problem, like I keep saying, and you know, we've seen several examples. So the recent example would be Power Rangers, would be. Ghost in the Shell, Transformers now, The Mummy, even Alien Covenant. These movies are not doing what they should be doing. But you take them overseas, they explode. And, you know, that's why I'm saying, like, you know, while we may not ever see a Ghost in the Shell movie again, or a follow-up movie, you will see probably another Mummy movie, or the universe that they're putting it in. Same thing with Well, see, here it's really weird because... You get these films that they are sci-fi, but then they come in and it's like Kong, for example, did really well. It didn't do like up here well, where it's like Wonder Woman or like a Avengers. Mm-hmm. It's not up here, but it was in between shit and really fucking good. So that's where you want to be if you're one of those movies. Mm-hmm. You want to be right in the middle. So that's where Kong was. It was very surprising how well it did. And, you know, so we're starting to see, like, okay, what are people looking for? Planet of the Apes, as much as it's getting really good reviews, the one that's about to come out here, I don't think that's going to do anything. I think that's going to bomb. I mean, we had let's see, Captain Underpants came out. It did really well the first week, and then it just went... I mean, kids movies didn't really do well. Pirates of the Caribbean, I've actually heard is a really good movie. Mm-hmm. This one, I've heard people make the comparison that it's as good as the first and the second one. So I'm wondering, and I thought the third one was pretty good too, mind you. The fourth one, we don't even talk about that one. We don't talk about the fourth. But yeah, I mean, I see like this all like that's why like Disney still has Pirates actually in theaters because. They're trying to wring it out as much as possible because a lot of people are sitting there going, yeah, you people need to go see it. It was really good. I had a guy come in and he's like, is it going to be really good? I said, I've heard nothing but good things about this film. Came out of there, he's like, dude, that was one of the best films I've seen this summer so far. So I don't know have you seen that one?
I kind of snuck in to see the ending of it.
I'm gonna fucking kill you. Stop sneaking into films. But yes, you need. I want you to go watch that, and I want you to tell me how it is because I really want to see.
Well, you
that.
know what I snuck into also?
All Eyes on Me.
All Eyes on Me.
Yeah.
The Tupac movie, which let me tell you was better than I thought it was going to be. Now, once again, I only saw like the last 45 minutes of
That's
it.
that's another movie that kind of did really.
The one
bad.
thing I got to say about the acting isn't that great. The people they hire actors who don't really look like the people they're representing. And it's hard to do that in a movie, especially with a movie with the budget that movie probably had. But if you know who Biggie Smalls looks like, if you know what Faith Evans looks like, you know what Tupac Shakur looks like, you know what Suge Knight looks like, they hired people that kind of look like them, and they kind of act like them. But one thing I do got to say about the movie is that. There, in all Eyes on Me, a lot of the movie they took, like when you saw footage of like the night Tupac died, he got into a fight in the lobby of a casino. They almost recreate that. Now it's in the movie, they're acting, but they almost recreate it to like the fucking T. And then like there's a picture like later on where like Tupac's in the car with Suge Knight and Suge Knight's driving, and they kind of play up to that moment, and then the guy comes and takes the picture, and it's sort of like, is that guy? Is he about to pull out a gun? No, he pulls out a camera and takes a picture. There's a couple of things, and not that I'm the biggest Tupac fan, but I have friends that are Tupac fans, and hearing the story and everything like that, and I'm pretty sure a little bit was, a lot of sins were washed away because it's his story. But what they did to try to get to accuracy was fucking awesome. I mean, it was the guy who played Snoop Dogg was laughable. The guy didn't even fucking resemble Snoop Dogg, but he kind of did his voice, so they kind of you kind of buy it because the guy's like, okay, he's kind of doing a halfway decent Snoop Dogg. But I mean, All Eyes on Me, if you're a fan of Tupac, you're going to like the movie. And I enjoyed it for what it was. And I'm not a fan of Tupac, but I'm familiar enough with his work and his story that I enjoyed it for what it was. So if that's your thing, then you're going to like the movie. And let me tell you, I was there opening night or whatever, and the fucking theater was packed. Of all these weeks that I've been going to the movies and stuff like that, since I've kind of turned myself around and I have a couple dollars to go to the movies, that's the most packed I've seen a theater in one night.
The next night it did over 100 people for the 7 and the 9 o'clock show. So, and I found out that was Tupac's birthday too, because I didn't know that. But that night it did really well. It's kind of went downhill from there because Jada Pinkett Smith, who's also part of this story.
Well, she knew him, and
she said that the story was complete and utter shit, and that people should not even watch it. And I think that's actually affected it because it's dwindled down to nothing.
Yeah, I mean, she went to high school with him and stuff.
And it also what was it? What was the other thing? And nobody's actually confirmed this, but apparently in the movie there's a scene, and I think this is just somebody made a rumor about this. He had an iPhone and then he had an iWatch. I think that's bullshit, but somebody said that was in the actual movie, which I'm pretty sure that's bullshit. But if it is, then that director fucked up pretty bad. Yeah. But yeah, this summer has kind of been you got your Wonder Woman, you got your. Beauty and the Beast has been the best movie so far, money wise. Fast and the Furious did really well too. Problem is when you have 50,000 different showtimes of it, you don't feel it. But it's just this summer started out like shit. Just it hasn't done as well as it should have. And the problem is if it doesn't get any better, I'm worried about my industry. I'm starting to get a little worried because you're not getting these films they're not doing that well. And here's the thing, even if these luxury theaters are selling out, they're only selling out in these 30 to 50 seat theaters. Yeah. I mean, that's what we're doing in our theaters, about 50 people for some of these shows, and it's also this stupid fucking... This 3D is going to help them. 3D doesn't help. 3D destroys some of these films. Transformers, I can guarantee you we would have done at least probably 50 to 100 more people a day if we didn't have one more showtime of it.
And speaking of Transformers, let's dig into this fucking thing. Okay, I should have known better. I've seen every one of these movies. I've seen every one of these movies in the theater, and I've probably seen every one of these movies within the first week of when they came out. This was no different. It was long. It was fucking convoluted to the point where it didn't make sense. I know it's not supposed to make sense, or at the very least, if you try to watch it into the context of the other movies, once again, it doesn't make sense because, in one movie they're trying to blow up the sun and collect the sun's power. And in another movie they're trying to do this, to do that. In one movie they send all the 12 primes come to Earth and they're doing this. And so now, and here, spoiler alert, like the Transformers, like they go and they mention that these 12 robots come to fucking Earth and they're 12, and they refer to them as primes. And the other movie said, oh, primes. And apparently those primes helped join the 12 Knights of the Round Table. And so, and then all the robots combine together to make like this 3-headed dragon. And it's like this weird convoluted story. Well, then what happened to them shielding themselves and holding the key of destiny or whatever the fuck it was from the first movie? They call them the 12. They're still alive by the time we get to modern day. And I'm like, didn't we see their bodies all frozen in a ball? Unless it's 12 different fucking robots, 12 different primes. And then, Optimus Prime goes to Cybertron, and Cybertron is coming to Earth to help this Earth. And then the bad lady, if you want to call her that, her name is Quintessa. For fans of the Transformers, the robots that actually help build the Transformers are called the Quintessons. Her name's Quintessa. Ha 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 ha. Because it would have been confusing to have robots, big giant robots that are just heads with 5 faces on them spinning around all the time. A lot of action, shit that just made no sense. You still had, John Goodman's character. You kind of had the samurai robot. You had, Bumblebee. Then there's this whole other yellow robot called Canopy, who you think is probably in the commercial, but it's not. It's a whole other fucking robot who's yellow. And I'm like, why the fuck can you see Bumblebee's mouth? And no, that's because that's a whole other robot. They could have chose any other fucking color, but they chose to make him yellow. Then they start introducing the Decepticons, and there's a part where like Megatron makes a deal with the humans to help to release captured Decepticons. All of these guys they show in the movie, none of them have been in any of the other movies. No one from the cartoon, not even the same names or anything like that. There's a guy like Mohawk and Nitrous Zeus and like stupid, like crazy, Onslaught. I think Onslaught was like
Onslaught was, yes,
was in one of the movies or whatever. But so they released they released these and then when Megatron is naming the Decepticons that he wants the humans to release, it turns into Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. Like kind of like you see their name and they're kind of like they're being all like oddly gangster and shit like that.
I heard it was more like a Suicide Squad kind of.
Yeah, like a Suicide Squad, exactly. When they're introducing all the bad guys, when they're introducing all the characters of Suicide Squad, they do that with the Decepticons, and like that's so never happened in any of the other movies. So like it was so out of place, and nothing anyone does makes sense. And then it's sort of weird because you got the U.S. military, then you got the anti-Transformer force. And then you got the Transformers. And the Transformers are all in hiding. Then you got the military that's kind of... They don't like the Transformers, but they'll help the Transformers. Like, the military is sort of like, look, we know the Autobots are the good guys and the Decepticons are the bad guys, but we can't officially help any of them. We can't help the Autobots. Then you got the anti-Transformer team, who's sort of like, we're going to kill everyone. We're going to kill all the Autobots and Decepticons. If it's a robot, we're going to kill it. But then you got Josh Duhamel, who's sort of playing like a double agent, where he's acting like he's former military on the anti-Transformer team, trying to convince like the leader of the anti-Transformer team, no, the Autobots are the good ones, don't kill them. But then but then the guy kind of sees the light, but he doesn't see the light, and it's like fucking so convoluted there. It doesn't need to be convoluted. And then there's the Knights of the Round Table and the robots, and then all of a sudden they give Merlin this staff, and now they need the staff, and every movie needs something that they need to chase, and they buried the staff in Merlin's coffin, but there's a big fucking spaceship under the bottom of the ocean. And it's like, it's this big fucking convoluted story. And then, here we go, super duper spoilers. Unicron. The ultimate, Unicron is supposed to be the ultimate evil, the opposite of Cybertron. Unicron is Earth. Earth is Unicron. And so these big points, these big horns start growing out of Earth, and they say, oh, that's Unicron, because of those characters familiar with Unicron, he does kind of have horns coming out of his head. Not 6, just 2, but he has horns coming out of it. And then, like, the movie cops out by leaving it at the end where, like, they don't introduce Unicron. But they're going, I'm assuming if there's a part 6, they'll be introducing Unicron, where Earth is Unicron. So,
well, there's supposed to be a 6th movie.
What a fucking cop-out, They had Hot Rod, and for some reason Hot Rod had a French accent, but he says he doesn't need a French accent. But Hot Rod was like a sports car. It was kind of stupid. It was just such a fucking cop-out. All right, I know we're running late. Okay, let me just say we had the Black Panther trailer. Looks good. I'm not going to get into details. It just looks fucking awesome. We'll let those details unroll as we get to them. For those, if you like the show Orange is the New Black, and Oscar mentioned earlier, there's a show on Netflix called Wentworth, which is basically Orange is the New Black, but in Australia.
Yeah.
But it's not even trying to be funny. It's serious all the way through. I've been watching the first season. It's been pretty good. And okay, here are my last. I went to go see this movie Rough Night with what's her face from the Avengers and Ghost in the Shell. What's her face?
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson, one of the girls from Broad City, who I believe wrote the movie also. Zoe Kravitz, Kravitz's daughter, Lenny Kravitz's daughter, who's absolutely fucking gorgeous, mind you. What a horrible, horrible movie. That movie was so not funny. I mean, literally. I was in the theater and people were not laughing. It was awkward. I went and I paid to see this fucking movie, and it was so bad. I think I laughed more watching the fucking Tupac movie, and that's what I snuck into right after I saw Rough Night. It was very bad, very stupid. It's about these women having a bachelorette party. They accidentally killed a stripper, and now their whole job is like trying to get rid of his body before the cops find out. Which anyone who's like me knows there was a movie like that years ago with a bunch of guys called Very Bad Things. It starred Jon Favreau, Christian Slater, the guy who did the voice of from the Wonder Years. One of the thieves from Full House. Not Full House. Home Alone. Mm-hmm. That guy. The guy who does the one of the, not Joe Pesci, the other bandit. He's in it. Once again, Jon Favreau, Christian Slater, what's her face from Charlie's Angels and The Mask. Something About Mary. You know who I'm talking about. The blonde chick.
God, I can't think of her name off the top of my head.
Yeah, well, she's in it also. It's a much funnier. It's a very dark movie. It's very, very dark because it's all about guys and the guy's having sex with the stripper, and her head gets stuck on a hook in the wall while he's fucking her. And he slams her up against the wall, but there's a hook there, and it goes through her fucking head. And so their job is to get rid of the body. And then Christian Slater's like, this is just a 110-pound problem, which is really fucked up. So if you want to see a better version of that movie, go rent Very Bad Things. Once again, it's a very dark movie, but it's Daniel Stern. Thank you very much, Chris Miles. Blue Thunder and Chud. Home Alone, Blue Thunder. Thank you. At least we know someone's watching. So with that, I think we're going to wrap it up.
That's what she said.
Please visit twostrangerspodcast.net where you can find all things show related. First and foremost, you can find links to our iTunes page. If you have an iPhone, iPad, or iPod, you can download us and subscribe to us on your iPhone, iPad, iPod. If you don't have an iPhone, iPad, or iPod, look up the blonde chick from Something About Mary. If you don't have an iPhone, iPad, or iPod, you can download us on the Stitcher app. That's STITCHER, the Stitcher app. That's how I listen to most of my podcasts. You could listen to Chris Hardwick's The Nerdist, Kevin Smith's Smodcast, and of course Paul's other baby, the Toonami Faithful Podcast. All are available on Stitcher. Of course, Cinema Psyops, our other buddies out there in the Midwest. What I do is I put on Listen Later. I put it on download, available offline, so you don't have to kill your data. You don't have to kill your battery. You can just listen to your podcasts, and actually, if you're listening to podcasts and not killing your battery and not streaming them, your battery will last a long time. That's what I do. I listen to it in my car, or if I'm trying to goof off somewhere. We can. That's how I listen to my podcast. And of course, our hosting site, the people who we can do this without, the SoundCloud, which is available for iTunes and Android devices. I tried my best to make sure I make all the episodes downloadable, but you could find us on SoundCloud. Just on SoundCloud, search for Two Strangers One Podcast, and there's a SoundCloud.com. Let me see what else. If you want to write to us, like Superfan Oscar, and once again, thank you, Chris Mounts, for contributing to the podcast live here on Facebook. If you want to write to us, you can write to us at twostrangersonepodcast@gmail.com. Once again, all spelled out, twostrangersonepodcast@gmail.com. Or you can follow us on Facebook. We're on facebook.com/twostrangersonepodcast. Once again, all spelled out, facebook.com/twostrangersonepodcast. One day we'll set up a Patreon, but until then, we want your money. We need your money. But if you can't spare a dime or a penny, It takes 2 seconds to like and share this on your page. Share and like this particular episode. Share the entire page in and of itself. Any kind of anything, any little bit helps on promoting the show. We do have a Two Strangers One Podcast network group, which oddly enough I haven't really added any of my friends to. I've added a whole bunch of strangers to. Pretty much anyone who's ever interacted with the page I've added as a friend to be part of that page. But if you want to check it out, you can look up the Two Strangers One Podcast group. We're on Twitter at Stranger Podcast. All the episodes that you can't find on iTunes, or you can't find on Stitcher, or you can't find on SoundCloud, you can find on YouTube. Just go on YouTube and search for Two Strangers One Podcast. Once again, all spelled out. I'm probably backlogged a couple episodes, but those are the ones, all the ones that were before we switched over from what was the old site, Podomatic, before we switched over to SoundCloud. So you can find every single 5 years. If you want to stalk me, if you're a girl and you want to find out more about me, find out what the fuck I've been doing for the past 5 years, and download every single episode or just listen to them on Facebook. I can't tell you to like and subscribe, and I can't tell you to click on the ads, but if you did, it would certainly be helpful. But then again, more than half our videos are not monetized because either content or copyright, because I've played...
Because Chris continues to use intros.
Because I've played 30 seconds of a song that all of a sudden is the end of the fucking world.
Yes.
As we know it, it's the end of the world as we know it. And you can also find my Stranger Vlogs, which I'm so behind on. I'm probably like literally a year behind on my Stranger Vlogs. And with that, and Paul still hasn't gotten his press pass to New York Comic Con. So hopefully,
let's not talk about that because I want to kill them.
Hopefully, by the next episode, we'll have better news about that. But I acquiesce the floor to you, sir.
Now you made me angry. You won't like me when I'm angry. You can find me on Twitter at Paul Pascrillo. You can find me on Instagram, instagram.com/PaulPascrillo. Stop playing with your nipples. You can ask me questions. It's ask.fm/Paul Pascrillo. And, of course, you can listen to me, as Chris said, on the Toonami Faithful podcast. Please tune into that every week. It's also on SoundCloud. We're all over the place, actually. So, yeah, that's about it. And Toonami's awesome, so fuck you, Oscar.
Well, to each their own. Hey, look, Toonami's getting me into fucking... Toonami's getting me into New York Comic Con, so you know that's going to be a lot of fun. All right. Well, we certainly hope you enjoyed listening and had as much fun as we did recording. Kelsey, please don't kill Paul.
She's going to kill you, not me.
Thank you for listening to Two Strangers One Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Paul.
Don't be a stranger.
Peace. We're out.
Bye.
You should be fapping.
You should be fapping. And thank you for putting up with all my bullshit. I need this podcast. I need to fucking vent. It's cheaper than therapy, and it keeps me out of fucking jail. And we're out.
Thank you. Count the door.
All right, here we go, man. Go ahead. You want to read
Double Jackpot.
What is it?
It is a self-published book by Christopher Cologne.
Chris Cologne? Smells good to me.
But
look at her. That broke that fucking cold little exterior. He's like, hee.
But it is spelled C-O-L-O-N.
Him punny.
But Double Jackpot is a book about a comic book artist, Eric, who is in a loveless relationship with a materialistic
I feel you, Eric.
Lynette.
Oh, fucking. Are you sure I didn't write this? Sounds hauntingly familiar.
He starts cheating on his girlfriend with a more creatively supportive woman, Nadia.
Well, I gotta meet her. Where's the Nadia?
There's your summer girlfriend.
Summer Nadia is Nadia.
Nadia?
Yeah, I think Nadia spelled with an A.
All right.
Both Lynette and Nadia play the double jackpot, the largest payout in lotto history, much like the recent Powerball. Both girls play his birth date as the winning numbers. Eric is now stuck between two of the country's richest women. Who will he choose? It's not that simple. This is a clever fucking idea,
yeah,
man.
Is.
Look at her. Fucking, she's impressed.
I am.
She got some summer reading. Christopher Cologne smells real lovely with an original idea. This is. I've never heard this before.
I haven't either. This is a self-published book, much in the indie spirit as Kev's Clerks.
Oh, you don't even need to name check me. It's just a good idea. You could stand on your own, man. You don't even have to be like, hey, remember Clerks? This is nothing like that. This is way more original than Clerks. This is a good idea, man. Why didn't I think of this?
I need something to read. This book is part of the Comic Books, Heavy Metal, Video Games Trilogy Book 2. Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, coming soon.
Right on, man. It's part of a trilogy. This is the first part.
Way to write, man.
He's seeking a literary agent. Motherfuckers, anybody out there? There ain't no literary agents listening to this show, I assure you, sure. Sure. I assure you, sure. But somebody know a literary agent? Hook a motherfucker up! Chris Cologne come up with an original idea. I should tell Raskin. That's a good fucking idea, to be honest with you. That's a fucking rom-com right there. Megan, get Raskin on the phone. Isn't it possible to get Raskin on the phone? No?
Yeah.
I want to run it past him, man. I want to, and if it happens, I get a taste, Chris Cologne. I get a whiff, if you will.
The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com.
That's lulu.com.
I understand that. I just want to spell it out.
Normally one says it that spells it. Still, lulu.com. What is that? Do you know what it is?
I don't know. All right. The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com. Search for Double Jackpot Christopher Cologne. A paperback version of the book is $15 and a PDF file is only $5.
$5 is
Yeah.
insanely inexpensive. 15's not even that bad for a paperback version.
No.
This is $1 million idea right here. Like a movie about a dude who fucking is stuck between two chicks, both of who play his birthday and win the lottery. Come on! I can see that trailer. Chris Cologne is on to something. Nobody else can smell it but me.
I'll read it.
Thank you. I'm going to make that smelly joke.
I know. You're trying to get me to laugh again.
It worked once. Double Jackpot is a self-published book by Chris Cologne, man. It's the first book in his Comic Books, Heavy Metal, Video Games trilogy. Book 2, Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, should be coming out soon. Get all the information at Chris Cologne, like a motherfucker.
I will
his
totally
book,
read this.
Double Jackpot. I'm serious. I'm going to recommend that to fucking Raskin. How is that not a movie? You know what I'm saying? This could be a sexy movie. You could do an R-rated version. There could be nudity in it, and you could show them fucking both chicks. Maybe a little penetration. Maybe a butthole shot. No butthole, no care.
I would like to formally apologize to Christopher Cologne.
No, sex sells. Chris Cologne will appreciate that. He's like, thanks for throwing a few buttholes in there, man.
Don't forget to check out twostrangersonePodcast.net, your one-stop resource for everything show-related. You can find links to subscribe to us on iTunes or on Stitcher. You could also find links to buy my book, Double Jackpot, on twostrangersonepodcast.net.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.
I believe that was the joke.
I believe I can fly.
I believe I can cry. I believe I commit suicide. I think about it every night and day.
Please don't sing.
Take some pills and pass away.
Jesus Christ.
I believe I can
What is this with you singing today?
Tie some rope around until
All right. Let's get